So I decided after yesterday I will still maybe use Instagram, but this is why I don't really get the point of Instagram. Okay, there's a few people I've talked to on it here and there, but the reason I don't get it is this reason. And most people are just like, man, 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 man. It's unsolicited advice that you get on Instagram. And what is so different about Instagram's interactive features that I can't just, whoopsie noodle, do them here on YouTube? So, anyway, yes, no more. I will call it down. Maybe only respond to 2 or 3 people on Instagram because I'm like, I thought I would try to interact with people, see who's actually a fan of my channel or liked my content, but then I had an epiphany. Yeah, some people they're not really a fan of my channel. They might watch some of my videos, but they're not really truly a fan. And then I don't know, they just start following lots of other women with long hair. So, and that's your prerogative, but you're not my fan. Then you're just a fan of long hair. You're not a fan specifically of me and my channel and what I do and talk about. If you're just like en masse following new and new girls with long hair, it wasn't me that you were interested in. You just maybe had a passing interest in me because I had long hair, but I'm so much more than my long hair. I am me, and I love my hemline, and I love life. I don't need to like worry too much about the social media aspect of it. In fact, I don't hate social media, but I say Instagram, I'm a lot less inclined to be active on Instagram because it has the same features that YouTube has. It has the live stream feature. And why would I do that on Instagram when I could just do that on YouTube? So I've posted pictures there on Instagram. There's a few people I talk to on Instagram, but I'm culling it down. And I don't need, and there's a few people I talk to on email, but I don't know, I don't need to talk to everybody, I guess. It's just because I had interactions with a couple of people that said they liked my channel. I thought I'd try to talk to them, and yeah, it was just kind of a flat pancake experience. Like, but I do like talking to the people I talk to on email or a few of them on Instagram, just not everybody. I'm not gonna be like answering new messages on Instagram anymore. So if I'm already talking to you and messaging you on Instagram or on email, that's one thing, but I'm just not looking to talk to new people on those platforms anymore because I have a few people I like talking to. And I think for me right now, that's good enough because, yeah, I don't need to. And I don't even think the other long hair ladies even talk to people that much. Like, they kind of just talk on their video. And yeah, so I'm not even sure, like, I don't think anything I'm doing is drastic. I just think, yeah, I tried to interact with some people I thought who liked my channel, but if they really like my channel, they'd just be watching my videos, you know? Yeah. Anyway, that's how the cookie crumbled, you know? It's just how it goes. No more Instagram for new contacts. This is where I am. I'm a YouTuber, not an Instagrammer. I just have Instagram because occasionally I might post a picture there to share what I'm posting here. I'm a YouTube live streamer, okay? That's just what I'm doing. Okay, in further news, I'm going to talk about the current little crisis debate. I want to stop looking at Facebook too, because I know some people are like, oh, it's just easy, stop looking at it. But every time I log in there lately, people are posting all sorts of things, and it's just like, oh, really? I like to know about things and have information, but I don't think like any governor is a saint to be like worshipped on an altar. You might like some of the things that he's doing as a governor. You might like your state legislator leader. But then there are other people that don't like him. And this is kind of how politics works in America. Politicians are elected officials. They're not absolute monarchs. They're not tyrants. They can recommend things. You can disagree with some of their stances. or their policies or their politics. You don't even have to be part of their political party. Maybe you didn't vote for them. And that is how it works in a representative democracy, like, republic. We're more of a republic with a strong democratic tradition. We're a representative republic is what the definition of the United States government truly is. So those people are representatives. They represent us. Just because some people might really like what a certain politician is doing, and yes, I know they say, once again, this is why you shouldn't get into politics, but it's a little hard right now when everybody's posting like a certain opinion, and they say that they are good and other people are bad, and it just comes down to this one thing, once again, that the personal is political and religion is politics, and can't we all just have good health safety practices? Like, if they recommend something, you shouldn't be going to a sippy cup party, okay, right now. You shouldn't be going to a punch bowl party. You shouldn't be going to a party where you're going to stand close to a lot of people. Those are really, 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 really good just personal recommendations from health officials. But this is where I kind of diverge from some people. I don't think that we need a nanny to say that you shouldn't do those things. I think we can have a health recommendation, just like it's not a good idea to drive without a seatbelt while smoking and throwing cigarettes out of your car. I know people are going to get fined for those things, but at the end of the day, if they're causing harm to someone, then yes, they should be in trouble for it. But let's say somebody just wants to do something really stupid, like drive without a seatbelt. So they might get a ticket for it. That's pretty much a given. And if they hurt somebody, yes, they should be in trouble. But in other case scenarios, somebody might not be hurting someone. Like, they went on a walk by themselves where nobody else was. Did they hurt someone? The answer is no. Should you go on a walk where there's a whole bunch of people? Of course not. Do we need nanny saying, oh my God, how dare you? Or do we need nanny to say, oh, you had a party at your house. Oh my gosh, you're a bad, bad person. Because yes, we need to follow health recommendations right now, but I feel like there's a fine line between tyranny and just recommending people do something. And when that fine line is crossed, I don't know, like, I guess everybody's really okay with it, but I've said pretty much all I have to say about it. I don't think any politician, state governor, is a saint, by the way. Especially when the same state governor commuted the sentence to some people that were kind of violent. Like, I'm sorry, when I heard that, when I found that out, when they said they were only going to release non-violent criminals, that made me pause for a second, especially since the victims' families were kind of upset about that. So I don't know what to tell you. I don't think a politician's a saint. I can disagree with a politician. I think that's still allowed in America. I don't know. It might not be allowed in certain countries, but I think in most countries with some form of representative government, we're still allowed to criticize a politician. And it's okay to say you don't think someone is a saint. But then at the end of the day, you're probably smarter if you stay out of the political foray completely and just live your life. And just live it. Not talking about politics. But I do sometimes have an interest in social issues. I just have to say, this vibe that's going on right now, that some people are good, some people are bad. I kind of would like to think, well, I want to think the best about everybody. We do need some laws to protect people to some extent, but we can't make everything verboten. I mean, I don't know, I guess we could, but like, where's the line? Like, where do we stop? And I would like to think that people are smart and savvy enough to follow a health recommendation on their own without their nanny coming in and chastising them, especially if they're over 18. And then a nuclear family, could maybe make good health decisions for themselves without the government saying, oh, no, we need you to listen to us because you're dodos and you can't figure out a health recommendation. Well, I think everybody's been watching the news and they kind of know you shouldn't all go to sippy cup parties, okay? I'm going to be honest with you. You probably shouldn't be playing soccer and going to a sippy cup party. This is just my analogy. I love the sippy cup analogy. Like, I always say, well, they didn't drink it. I love this blog I found years ago where they said, when they were pushing all this drinking of water, well, people didn't drink sippy cups crossing the desert, and the analogy is like, you know, just the sippy cups or like the little containers that have like a sippy function, that people have lots of water, but throughout history, people didn't always drink like a gallon of water a day. Like, you get water from other beverages and vegetables and fruit. It's just this analogy, so I'm just like, here's a good example. You have a sippy cup, you probably shouldn't share with your friend right now. I'm just saying, like, this is good common sense. I think everybody knows that with what's going on in the world. I don't think you should be like, hi friend, I haven't seen you. Do you want to sip from my sippy cup? Or here's another example. Let's have a sippy cup party or a punch bowl party where everybody's drinking out of the same punch bowl. That's another analogy. It's probably not a good idea to have a house party right now, I say. But if some dodos decide to have a house party, I don't think it's a good idea. But am I going to go rat them out? Probably not. You know, it starts to feel a little wrong when we're going down that road. I'm doing good. Like, when we start saying, oh, I'm doing very good. When we start going down this road, like, this is still America, right? We still have the Constitution, right? I know you need to do things for your health. You need to be careful. You have to wear gloves, like, if you're handling things in public, but I don't know, like, how do we say, this is why I need to stay off Facebook and just stay away. I ended up telling someone what I had thought all along about something they were posting. They just kept saying that, you know, if the economy's not resilient because we had to shut down due to Corona, then maybe it should just be that way. And that gave me pause because I'm like, oh my God, what is that person saying? Okay, I don't believe in polluting and all this, but that person has a very environmental agenda, and I guess their take on it is, well, a lot of businesses shutting down right now, that's good because it's really good for the environment. And yes, the sky is really clear, but I hate to tell you this, at the end of the day, people are economics, and if they don't have a job a few months down the line, where does the revenue come for unemployment insurance? And by the way, people can't just stop working altogether because cities still have to function and the sewer doesn't magically run. Maybe you think the sewer magically runs, but it could back up pretty bad if you didn't have people working on that. And you still need some minimal law enforcement. You still need some function within your cities and your municipalities. People still need electricity, Wi-Fi. There's certain services that are called essential that people still need to some degree. I'm saying it's probably not a good idea to go to some big party right now. It's not a good idea, but it's a fine line when you start saying, well, maybe we should rat people out because they were dumb and they went to a party. Most people aren't doing that. Most people are keeping a social distance right now. I think we're all smarter and savvier than they're giving us credit for, but that's just my take. You do you. I don't think that like any politicians above criticism, and if you think like they are, like maybe you should rethink. Like a year ago, people would never have gone along with that. And then here's my final question: is it now illegal to watch the sunset? I probably shouldn't phrase it that way, but it kind of was implied that maybe you shouldn't watch the sunset from your car. In some places, you're in your car, but you're not supposed to go watch the sunset because that wasn't an essential activity, but you were in an isolated location. Now, if you're going to the beach, I think that's pretty dumb, okay? With a lot of people. Use common sense. But if somebody's out and there's nobody really out, and they're watching the sunset in their car, they're not hurting anybody except for maybe themselves. But the theory was, oh, they might go to a restaurant afterwards and get takeout, or they might go to a convenience store and touch a handle, and if they're symptomatic, they might spread that around. Everybody's spreading it. But okay, how long is this going to last? I get maybe a month or two more. How long can we continue this? Like, can we go a year and keep doing this on and off? Because I did see some projections saying that some people thought we would just keep shutting down every time this, like, some cases would arise again. So I don't, like, if this is our new normal, like, there's gonna be some drawbacks and we have to acknowledge those things. But I guess some people are okay just to say take it one day at a time, but I say you kind of have to look at the bigger picture and say, you know, at the end of the day, I would like to believe that people are smart enough, savvy enough to follow a health recommendation on their own and as a family without saying, oh, these people are bad people, and just saying, well, they're bad, I'm not, I'm good, like, oh my gosh. It's kind of like we're looking for a boogeyman. It's like we're looking for somebody to do something wrong. We're like wanting to call people out. I thought that we all said that was bad a while back, but now people are looking for these things. That's why I'm going to try not to look at social media on this issue, because so many people are right. And I still think we have a constitution in the United States. You know, I still think it has some validity and merit, and I love the Constitution, and I love our country and our legal system and the civil liberties we have, and that is an intrinsic thing that I love about America, and I think you should love it too, and I think you should care about it too. If you live in America, you have been privileged enough to benefit from these things, and if you think that these things suddenly might not matter anymore, maybe you should think about that. I don't know, like, it just, you have to, I would just like to say, can people use common sense? Can people be smart enough to use their own common sense without someone telling them they have to do this? Can people just be encouraged to do something that's beneficial for themselves and others? Like, can we just not, like, assume the worst about humanity before we've given them a chance to do good? You know, of course there's going to be people that make bad choices, but the question is, what choice did you make today? Did you go to a sippy cup party or did you stay away? If you stayed away, then you did what you could do today, okay? But if we're going out and looking for someone and like trying to think that they might be doing something bad, that might be part of the problem. And yeah, there will be no sense of community when and if things get better if we keep doing that, but I have to stop caring, because obviously a lot of people are looking for boogeymans now. Like, they're looking for the bad guy now, instead of just saying let's all try to work together to maybe help businesses and people practice safe social distancing in a healthy fashion. Wouldn't that be better? Just a thought. You know, just a thought.